Speedway, Chad Little and Larry Pearson have each made several pit stops. Chad's grandparents are here from Spokane, Morris and Doris Little, keeping an eye on their grandson.
Boy, Chad was real lucky. He's got some damage on the front there, but it's not enough to really make him have to do much. You've seen him pulling out the sheet metal on the very front to keep it down, pinned well on the ground.
All right, let's check with Glenn.
Well, guys, very minimal damage on his car. The little piece of little stripping that goes along the bottom of the front spoiler was all that was torn loose when he came across the curb. You mentioned he had to cut across the curb to get out of that. Tore this piece loose. It was hanging down on the racetrack. Wasn't going to hurt anything, but just to make sure, NASCAR didn't black flag him coming in. They ducked in, changed it, or snipped this off and sent him right back out, so no problem.
Thanks, Glenn. Kenny Wallace is in for fuel. And they're working on the left rear corner, trying to bend some sheet metal away on the PIC Financial Ford. And Larry Pearson comes back in once again. The mechanic crawl out from under the car. They had what may have been a tire rub on the left rear. One to go. We'll go racing. They're trying to get Larry Pearson out without losing a lap here. And they do, but he may have to come back in. So that fender out. Larry is 7th in the point standings. And Pearson scoots around. He's going to come back on pit road before we get the green. Here's Elton Sawyers. Ford, Credit Ford. Getting set for the restart. He is in 9th place.
Wiggling that wheel, getting those tires clean, getting ready for the start here.
Oh, Pearson comes to a halt. Has to back up a little. He's over the line. Well, they get some of that stuff off, but Larry pulls out. We're going green. Pearson struggles to stay on the lead lap, and Stevie Reeves come out of the back pits. Well, Kevin LePage is going to try to get a lap back from Mike Wallace here.
Looks like he's going to clear him there. He's back in the lead lap again.
Mike got loose coming off of number 2 there, so I definitely let him get ahead.
And also the 99 moving on up through to get back one of the 2 laps that Phil Parsons is down. So those 2 cars scoot away from the leaders.
Well, the nice part about that, when somebody makes up a lap, it's not like you're taking the lead or anything like that. You see Hermie Sadler coming around on the outside there. They black flagged him early in the race, but he's made up 1 lap, and he's trying to make up another now.
Watching from Elton Sawyer's car, and Mike McLaughlin down on the inside there. Battle for 9th place.
That's a nice shot right there. You see the car on the inside. They'll get so close, well, it looked like he touched just a little bit, but they didn't. That camera is in a good place to have to produce another camera sometimes.
That's Bobby Dotter on the inside in the DeWalt Tools car. It was announced this week that sponsorship will move to Hermie Sadler, who will form his own team next year. Close running up there. Here are your leaders from Mike Wallace on back.
See, Randy LaJoy, they said he was running up to par, but when you have a cylinder down, you start drifting back. You see how this other car is pulling away from Randy LaJoy down the straightaway. Now, going in the corner, he probably handles better because he don't run quite as fast down the straightaway, so he can make up a little time. But you see when they come off the corner, he got about 10 car lengths on 1 straightaway there.
Now LaJoy drops to the inside. Here's where the point leaders are running as we continue to watch this battle at about 7th spot.
Whoa!
The 20 cars slowed way up now.
Yeah. Randy LaJoy will come in. If that gets any worse.
Well, he's hurting right now. He's to the inside of the track just trying to make as many laps as he can. Hermie Sadler is flying. He's trying to pass Mike Wallace on the outside of this racetrack. If he does that, he ought to get that Attaboy award that we give each race.
He is 2 laps down in the Virginia's for Lovers number 25. So far, the Attaboys have to go to Larry Pearson's crew because they got all that work done and kept Larry on the lead lap.
You see Randy LaJoy going back to the truck. I guess that stuff all made it to the bottom of the oil pan there.
16th in the points coming into this race.
One thing Mike Wallace don't want is a whole lot of bamming and framming right now from the cars trying to make a lap back. But you understand, Hermie Sadler's running well enough. If he can make up these laps, he'll be in contention to win this race.
Mike Wallace, number 9, the Barry Owen FDP Brakes Chevrolet is the race leader. And there'll be a new sponsor on that car for next season. And Mike will continue with Barry and run a limited Busch schedule as he continues on in the Cup.
Ooh, Jason Keller got high again there.
Yeah. Chad Little really had to check up just behind Keller and Johnny Benson there. In fact, almost came to a halt in turn 4. You're riding with Chad Little as he moves up to the outside of Jason Keller, the Budget Gourmet Chevy.
Ooh, that's posting up front there, folks. That's about as close as you can get without hearing a little thump on the quarter panel there.
Might have been there. It might be we just didn't hear it.
That camera's getting a little nervous, too.
Wouldn't you be?
I would absolutely not be. I wouldn't be there.
Right.
You know, I believe the 71 and the 9 car now is holding the 9 car up.
Yep. Yeah, I believe they are kind of backing up the leader at the moment. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett down in Randy LaJoy's pit.
Well, Mike Randy sits in the car, and amazingly enough, he has a smile on his face. Randy, it's just been that kind of year. You had an awesome car, but it went away early.
Yeah, something happened to the motor again, and hey, what can we do? We had a great race car, and we dominated the first 50 laps. I was just kind of riding. I was hoping we'll have a good day, and something happened in the motor. But hey, we'll get this car ready for Rockingham next week. I'd like to wish my wife happy anniversary, and I'll be home in a few hours.
Whoa! I wish Randy could have had a little happier one too.
He bumped Phil Larson to let him know that he is behind him and wanting by.
I was just fixing to say, Mike Wallace is a pretty aggressive driver. He's like Rusty. He'll sit there for a while, but he's not going to let this continue forever.
Nope. Now the 99 is on the tail end of the lead lap. That's Phil Parsons in the Luxair Heating Chevy.
Of course, you can't blame Phil. He's trying to keep it in the same lap. If they have a caution, he'd get him around, but he's definitely holding him up.
Well, he is. You know yourself, David, anytime you make a pass on the outside, you have to be quite a bit faster, and he's making a pass right now.
You do. That's true.
We're riding with Elton Sawyer down in the corner. You can see it right along here where you pick up the throttle. See him fighting that wheel. He bumped that curve just a little bit in the center of the corner there, and that threw the back end out. He had to make fast corrections.
Right behind Johnny Rumley in the 00 Taco Bell car. Mike Wallace has jumped inside of Jim Bound, and Hermie Sadler's following him up through. Remember that Sadler is 2 laps down. He's going to try to get one back, and this partisan Virginia crowd comes to its feet. Sadler inside the race leader, out of turn 2. And he may get a second lap back from the lead car here.
Well, he has the preferred line through that corner, but he really can't. A little contact there. But that's just good, hard racing now. When you see him just brush like that now, when you hit somebody hard, of course, and knock them out of the groove, that's another story. That's just good, hard racing. You see Mike Wallace went right back in the lead.
You know, it's Johnny Chapman's car, number 17 there. He smokes pretty bad coming off the corner. It could be the rear end.
I imagine David Green's wanting us to settle out and just go
he's
single file down through there.
Yeah,
he's sitting there going, hey, I don't need this.
Yeah, he's second in the race and third in line in the 44, the Slim Jim car. And he's got to be just saying, can't we just ride a while here? I mean, he wants to race.
The 17 car did come in the pits. It doesn't doubt that we're smoking this rear end.
Hermie Sadler, trying to get his lap back from Mike Wallace, was asked if the situation at the end of the year, leaving his team, is affecting his driving.
No, it really doesn't, and I've really been determined in the last 4 or 5 races to go out on a high note. Don Beverly and all these guys have done a lot for me, put me in a position where I am now to be able to do some other things in racing, and we're not giving up. Although we had bad luck in Charlotte last week, we had a top 5 finish and had a flat tire again. It's always something, but You know, all I can do is go ahead and give it 110% everywhere, every racetrack, no matter what I'm driving, and I plan to do that the rest of the year.
Sadler trying to get that lap back.
Ricky Craven has moved all the way in the third spot. He come up behind Terry Labonte. Terry Labonte moved over to the inside of the racetrack, let him go by on the outside. He knows what this title means to these boys. He did not even try to fight back. He let him go right on by.
And just behind them, Johnny Rumley and Elton Sawyer battle. Rumley back in the Bob Hicks owned car that he won with at Hickory last year. That's a yellow 00. Sawyer down into the back of somebody there. Mike Wallace leading David Green and Ricky Craven here at Martinsville. We'll be right back. 25 laps complete at the Martinsville Speedway. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and David Pearson. Glenn Jarrett's in the pits for TNN. Jim Bound takes his car behind the pit wall. Ricky Craven is on a tear.
Boy, that car is working very well through the corners. You see him accelerating there. He's running the leaders down. He's only a half a straightaway back from the leaders right now, and that car just goes anywhere he wants to. So you'll look, in just a little while, he'll be up there battling for the lead, I think.
Craven will go Winston Cup racing in 95. Wants to go out of this division with the championship. He'll still run a limited Busch schedule next season with his own car, and John Munson as crew chief, his own equipment, and DuPont.
One thing about it, he's owned his own team this year, and he has really, really had a great team all year. This guy, when he gets to Winston Cup, is going to write a new chapter, I think. He's just like Jeff Gordon or any of the younger drivers. I think he's on a tear right now.
He's quite a businessman, too. He was telling David and me this morning what he spent almost to the penny the first half of this season and what it's taken for this stretch drive for the championship. And just these last few races have been more well into six figures. Ricky, is there more pressure on you or on David Green as we come to these final two races for the championship?
Oh, it's got to be tougher on him. David's a good guy, and he's led this thing since we gave it up about halfway through the season, a little after halfway, and it's his to lose. 2 weeks ago, we were 144 points out, and we didn't consider ourselves in a good position to win this, but we fought our way back. And we've raced really good. I'm really proud of the guys. They never gave up, and we've raced like we should. We've raced like we wanted to win each time we climbed in a race car. That's what we'll continue to do, and the pressure has to be more on the leaders.
And the pressure is about to be on David Green because Craven is coming.
You can see David Green. He looked in the mirror and he seen that two-car Ricky Craven in front of him, Termy Sadler. He's getting a little more aggressive with Sadler now. He's starting to give him a little nudge every once in a while. He says, that guy's right behind me. You see him trying to make the pass right now.
He did, buddy. And when he nudged him, he let him know he had to go, so he went on.
Well, he'll have to go because Ricky Craven has turned up the wick. And one thing about it, you notice he let Ricky Craven go right by two.
Also, Bobby Dotter and Chad Little battle. This is back at 12th spot. Watching from Chad Little's car.
You know, if I was David Green, I would let Ricky Craven go. Then maybe he would run Mike Wallace a little bit harder than he wanted to and have trouble.
The possibility. Watching from Chad Little's car out the driver's side window. Back at Bobby Dotter. Now for fifth place, Elton Sawyer and Johnny Rumley.